G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. Well, we're going to take another look around Lubuntu, and I have used this a couple of times in the past on and off, been checking it out. I thought I'd run through some of the things that I've been up to. Now the first thing I want to run through is actually, if we go into videos here, this is my test video. So if we start that video up, and now, well, first of all, we're just going to see whether sound is working. What I wanted to show you was, so first of all, by default, we don't have any sound. So let me run that again. So what it is by default, this setting here for VLC is on the Yeti stereo microphone. For some reason, the Yeti seems to take over everything on the mic. So if you just click on under playback, let's go back to VLC, and under playback, click on that and choose your built-in audio analog, and then you got sound. So that's how that works. I don't know if you could hear that there. I don't know if that sound comes through. It might have been a bit annoying. Sorry about that. So that's one thing that I've thought I'd show people straight off the bat. So now what we have here is we have our folders, and they're actually not in order that I like. They're sort of backwards. So if we go to sorting and we go to ascending, and then that should be correct. Now I'm pretty sure that holds that setting. Yes, it does. So that's that. So now what I want to do is I would like to I think we need to open this, and then we add to bookmarks, and then you got documents under here. I don't know if we can right click and add to bookmarks, probably not. So add to bookmarks. Okay, so that's our most popular bookmarks established. Now, I was watching Ghosty the other day. He was didn't quite see this little adjustment here. So if you missed that, because you could miss it going backwards and forwards here, but it doesn't look like it's something that you can adjust, but you actually can. So what we're going to do is go to Documents, and I'm going to have a look at my settings here. Now if we have a look in the bottom right hand corner, this speaker icon is a little bit out in color. So if we go to Preferences, and we go to Appearance, we go to Icons. Now on this checkbox here, it's got Colorize Icons based on widget style palette or palette or whatever you want to call it. Uncheck that, and now you've got, even on the simple screen recorder, they have come up with the color that matches everything else. So that's what that does. So I just thought I'd show people how to correct that icon there, because it is slightly annoying because it's very dark. So that's a fix for that. Now, the other thing we want to do is compositing effects, which is in the Configuration Center under Window Effects. So the Configuration Center is Preferences and Alex QT Configuration Center. So what we want to do is go to window effects, which is here. Fade tab, fade windows during opacity changes. I think that's already on. Yes, it is. I don't know why I put that down. Maybe I confused myself a bit with some settings when I was messing around with it. So let's go to the compton. So we go to Configuration Center, Session Settings. Now what we can do here is turn on compton under Basic Settings and compton. So let's turn that on, and let's click. Now if you look at the menu, it's very quick and snappy. There's no effects whatsoever, and even down here. So let's start that. Now I don't know whether that's actually started, so what we'd probably have to do is I might have to shut down. Let me shut this down and we shall have a look what it's like after a reboot. So let's do that. Okay, so I've logged out and logged back in, and I restarted and rebooted and nothing was really happening. So I was trying to figure out at what stage I did this. When I tried it, it worked, but I couldn't remember what my settings were. So there was an important thing in here that I can tell you. So we're not running any compositor at the moment. I've turned it off. So what we do is we go to Session Settings, Compton, and we press Start. Now Compton is running. Now you'll see the different effects. Now what you need to do is you need to go to Windows Effects. On the fade, if you switch this one, then the effects change, and it changed everything. And then you put it back on and then you get the effects. So it sort of slows it down, but you can see there's a little bit of transparency in that, which there wasn't before. So for some reason, this setting here under Windows Effects in the Configuration Center plays a big part. Now, Windows seem to be doing a few funny things, so let's have another look at that. So you can see the effects there. Now maybe it's not meant to be on. If we turn it off and apply that, things are working a lot better, although it could be because I'm recording as well. So that might be another reason. So, and it doesn't give you like, when you switch it on and off and apply, it doesn't give you an OK or anything like that. So that's a little bit strange. So that's what that does. Now your compositor's running straight away, so there's no problem there. I didn't have to go into Session Settings and Auto Start. Now, I'm not sure whether it's auto starting, so we can easily, I was going to do something else then, but I better have a look at that. I might have to log out and log back in and make sure that that compositor is running still. So we can go to Session Settings, Auto Start, we can add, we can give it a name, Compton, and we should be able to search for Compton. And there it is there. You can probably open that. I'm not going to do that yet and cancel that. I'm going to restart the system and see whether that makes any difference. So I've rebooted the system, and it looks to me like Compton is still running. I can't really tell whether the transparency is there unless I put that there. Yes, definitely the transparency is there, so there's not a problem. So I haven't added that to auto start, but Compton is definitely running. So what we're going to do there is I'm going to have a quick look at YouTube. Just going to have a quick look at this screen tearing test. Now, yes, I've got a lot of, from my experience in the past when watching a YouTuber's video, you cannot see screen tearing on the playback, but there's a lot of screen tearing happening there, quite a fair bit. So what I can do for that is, in here I've got Compton for screen tearing. Now I've got one that Lenny had. Don't call me Lenny. He had one there. Now I've got some originals as well. Now this one worked in Peppermint 7. So Peppermint 7 is based off of LXDE. So what I'm going to do is go home, show hidden folders or files, .config. Now there's a compton.conf there. We're going to rename that to .bk for a backup, so that file's not being used. And then I'm going to go back to my documents. I'm going to use this one here, copy that back to .config and paste in there. That's my compton.conf. So by rights, if I go back to YouTube, I'm pretty sure that's working straight away. Alright, so I've still got screen tearing, so I may have to log out and log back in for that to take effect. So let's do that. Right, so I've logged out and logged back in, and definitely I have no more screen tearing. It's gone completely, so that's a good sign. So that works really well. So I can leave a copy of that config file if people want to give that a go. That one has always worked for me in most cases, so I can leave all that in the show notes. You can copy and paste it into your own. Just create a file, create a new blank file called compton.conf and just copy and paste it into that. It's as simple as that. So now what we're going to do here is have another look at where I was up to. Now that we've done that, what we are going to do is we're going to copy some pictures over, and they're all PNGs. So we're going to open the terminal, and we're going to change directory to pictures, Lubuntu Wallpapers, and ls for list, and we're going to sudo copy asterisk png to user share Lubuntu wallpaper, I think it is. And we should have those available in our wallpaper in computer, file system, user, share, Lubuntu Wallpapers, and now it's shared with all the others. So what we can do now is desktop preferences. Now this is one thing where they haven't sort of made any changes yet, and I'm assuming that those changes will be coming leading up to the next couple of releases until we get to the long-term support, which I believe is 20.04, I think. What we do here is we browse, and we'll go back to, we'll go to computer, user, share, Lubuntu Wallpapers. Now I've sort of named them so I know which one I'm selecting. So we'll try the pink first. Now that was a wallpaper that Wendy Hill, who is working with the Lubuntu project, she supplied me with some wallpapers to try out on Lubuntu, so that's really nice. But I'd like to show them all. Now the advantage of this is once you've selected that position, it stays on that position, so we don't have to go searching for it again. So that's, once you've done it once, then it's all there. All you need to do then is name the wallpapers so you know what their name is, and then you can identify them by the name. Normally you identify it by a little thumbnail or something like that. So we have that one as well, which is really nice. I might leave it on that one for now at the moment. Now, oh, I think that was already open, wasn't it? Now, center new windows. In the open box settings. So if we go to preferences, open box settings, under Windows, now it's got a checkbox here for center new windows when they are placed, but I've noticed unfortunately that doesn't work. So if we close everything, close our preferences there. Now the first window will go to the center, but if you open anything else, it's more than likely going to go elsewhere, like so. So they're not centered. So they'll be just all over the place. I think what it does, it looks for the any space available on the screen and it goes for that space. I think that's how it works. So if you're looking for a fix for that, go visit Don't Call Me Lenny, one of his most recent videos on Lubuntu 18.10. He shows you a fix for that. And it's quite a good little fix, so, and definitely works. So I didn't really get that information to show it on this video. Now there is a in the file manager and the edit and yeah, let's go to the file manager first, shall we? Would help. Edit and preferences. You've got remember window size, user interface, remember the size of the last closed window. So that's already checked. So that's always handy to have. And it does work, I've checked it out. So if we change the size of this window here to an obvious size, and then we close that, and then I reopen it, as you can see, it's fairly big. So let's just drop that down to a smaller size, and as you can see, it's smaller again. So that's how you do that. I'm not sure whether that was by default last time, but I definitely haven't changed that since I reinstalled this. So panel settings, if we right click and go to configure panel widgets and the task manager bar, go to the settings. Now they need to fix these icons here because they're not very outstanding, so they're very dull. So if we hit the settings button there and we go to appearance, you can change the button style to icon only, which you can see there's only icons there. You can change the width of the task window, taskbar. So we could probably manually put that in. Let's just say we choose 100. As you can see, the window task managers are getting smaller. So let's go to 50. I'm not sure if that changed or not. I wasn't watching. 25. Oh, there we go. So that's a bit too small. So let's go to 40. Let's go back to 50. Yeah, it's just taken its time to change. So it must be because I'm recording. This is, like I say, this is not a very high-spec laptop in any way. So that's some of the changes you can make there. You can put it back to only text, so you can have only text. Then you'd have to increase the size again, icon and text. You can't really see the text now because I've made the icons really small. So let's just put it back to 100. So there's a couple little changes you can make there. Don't forget, on any of these launchers you have, some of them have a settings button that's grayed out and some of them don't. So you can see it lighten up a bit if it's got a setting on it, like that one has. So you can adjust your clock, your time, things in your time. And if you go to advanced, you can go to customize and it'll give you codes that you can make your own customized date and time down the bottom here. So that shows you how to do that. So pretty much you'd be probably just changing these ones here to suit whatever you want. So that's just easy to mess around with anyway, so there's no problem there. So might be handy to take a copy of that, which is what I'm going to do. Go to documents, create a new blank file, just call it time backup. Paste that in there and save it. So that way, if you mess it up completely, you can copy and paste that back in and start all over again. So it's always good to back those little things up there. So I'll just switch that off. So back to the normal time, but actually that time that advance time was pretty cool anyway. I might leave that on there for now. Now, one thing I do want to ask, I'm not sure about this one here, dock apps. So in the configuration center, we have some dock apps, open box settings, and under dock, it says that this dock is a special container for dock apps or dock applications. It is not visible on screen until a dock app is run. Dock apps can be used to show things like a clock or to provide you with a system tray. Now, I'm not sure, I haven't been able to get this dock app running. So it's currently in the top left. Now, I don't know whether we need to click something there, which I didn't try before, but I'm not really sure how that works. Allow windows to be placed within the docks area. So I still haven't seen a dock anywhere. It's meant to be top left. So I don't really know about that one. It's an interesting one, but maybe somebody else knows a bit more about that than what I do. So Lubuntu is running quite snappy, as you can see here. Now let's have a look at opening and closing the menu is just pressing the super key. If we have a look for system, if I type it right, we might be good. Probably don't have HTOP, do we, installed? Oh yes, we do. That's all right. So now I'm recording. I've been running Firefox. It'll probably go up if I open that again. Let's check it out. So we're running 816 megabytes while recording with Firefox open. A few other things open as well. So that's pretty good. And once I stop recording, that's going to probably drop down a fair bit. I don't know if it tells me what simple screen recorder is using or not. Roughly 172 megabytes, I think, by the looks of it. So we're definitely under 700. So that's pretty good. So what we've got in here is we've got the Discover. So I'm just trying a few little searches in the menu there, and that works quite well because that menu once before used to hold the search in there, but now it clears the search very well. So that's good to see. So this Discover always checks for updates. I just did an update in Discover before, so that was that worked pretty well. Now, if you want to install something, click on Applications, because I noticed if I did a search for Simple Screen Recorder here, it didn't show up. Simple Screen, it'll probably make a liar out of me now. There it is, probably because it's installed. But before it didn't show up until I clicked on Applications. Maybe I just searched too quick, had to wait for it to wait for the Discover program to kick in a bit more or something, or load, wait for it to load, I think. So under settings here, we should have Snap. So I think Snap is installed by default. No, make default. No, we don't want to do that. But in that search, you had Simple Screen Recorder. Let's just do that again and have a look at that. So yeah, what you've got there is you can tell the Snap app by the names. Snappy Stable. Oops. Don't know what I did there. So if we click on that, we've got the arrows there, the return arrows there. So yeah, by Marty, Marty, and this one here you can tell as well by the icon. So, but Simple Screen Recorder is working well without the need of a snap anyway, so that's all right. And also under settings we have, I believe, Flatpak, Discover Flatpak backend, so you can install that. So we'll install that and see what happens. Now I'm not sure whether we need to do any extra with this, I don't know. Okay, so Flatpak is installed. Let's have a look, let's search for Telegram. Because Telegram is normally a Flatpak and a snap. And also, see now, this is what I mean by you've got to be under applications because it didn't find anything. Okay, let's try that again. Telegram and searching. So we've got a Telegram desktop there, which is snap. That's a snap. This one will be from from Ubuntu repos. And this one here is a snap. So I don't know whether we need to maybe restart the Discover program because it's definitely not finding any of the Flatpaks in there at the moment. So we'll try that again. It's probably just reset it. So I'll be checking for updates first. So let's go to applications, search for Telegram. So what that's done is it's actually installed, it's installed the Flatpak support, but I think we still need to do something with Flatpak itself. Flatpak or FlatHub, I think we need to go. We probably need to run that command to make sure that it's got the repos in there because it's probably not connecting to the repos. It's just added the support, I believe. So we'll just have a quick look in, let's go to get set up. And we'll probably find in there under Ubuntu support that we need to run this one here. We need to restart as well. So we need to add this repo. Copy that. Terminal. And we shall paste that in there, paste the selection, enter that. And we may need to do a restart to see the results of that. So we'll just wait for that command to run. Okay, so that seems to have done that. Yeah, we'll exit out of there. And I think what we'll do is we'll do another reboot and we'll see what happens there. All right, so we'll have another look at Discover and see whether that's working with Flatpaks now. I noticed that this compositing has gone away. Oh, has it? Oh, it's probably because I'm recording. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I may have to redo that, the fade setting, the window opacity fade setting. That normally has a lot to do with that. So as you can see, it's not as transparent as it was before. So there's no update. So we'll go to applications. We'll search for Telegram again and see what results we yield from that. If I can spell it right. That's I can't even spell that right, can I? Let's have a look at that. See what we get. So I still can't see any results from the Flatpak. They're all snaps. That's Ubuntu repo. Now, do we have an option here to select? So what I've found is on here it's got add source. Now I don't know if that was there before I installed the FlatHub repo there. So maybe we need to add the repo there, I'm not sure. So maybe we need to go to the FlatHub again and add the repo onto that. Quick setup. So let's try that again. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the source and copy that repository. So what we're going to do is we're going to add source. Now I can't copy and paste anything into here, so I'm assuming that we have to add this Flatpak repo manually. So we'll try that. Okay, so I've typed that in, hopefully it's all correct, and we'll add that. And it's gone all red. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. It doesn't seem to be adding it. So it doesn't want to add that repo. So do we need to do individual Flatpaks into there? I'm not sure. Right, what did I just do then? That was a fluke, I must say, whatever I did. Okay, so the FlatHub repo I added to here actually comes up as a list. Well, that's really nice. So here I am messing around with that stuff, and actually the FlatHub repo, you just got to click on that and there's all your FlatHub applications. Well, how easy was that? How hard did that look? So that's pretty handy indeed. So that's quite nice. So I don't know what the add source was there all about. Must be maybe some individual sources or something. I'm not sure. So there we go with the FlatHub repo. So, and you got your snaps there. Now, can we click on the snap or not? No. So those two are just settings. So the snaps will come up because they're more integrated into the system. I'm sure, being Ubuntu based, that's why they'll come up on your normal search. So that's pretty handy. So now you've got snaps, Flatpaks, and the Ubuntu repositories. So the other thing we have is the Muon. So if we go to System Tools, which is where Discover is, and the Muon Package Manager, you can search for things in here as well. You've got settings, you can configure your software sources, and you can go canonical partners. You can adjust your updates if you want. So server for Australia, so that's all right. Close that and it'll reload. Okay, so I don't know what the advantages of canonical partners is. Let's all have a look. The wiki. So enabling the canonical partner repositories offers access to proprietary and closed sourced software and are disabled by default. So there you go. That's what Canonical Partners does. So one's for applications and one's for source code. Okay, so we need the applications mainly, I think, is the top one, I'm pretty sure. I don't know whether we need the bottom one. Okay, so let's just go back to preferences one more time. Now, under preferences, you've got everything here, so you don't have to go into here. You can select them from here. So the one I'm looking for was probably Windows effects, I think, fade. So let's just apply that and see what happens. Okay, so I had a major crash on the desktop, changing some settings there. So I've done a little bit of research before I decided to record again. Now I do have my transparency back and I have got rid of my screen tearing. So what I've done is I've just mixed up the Compton files a bit. So you can see this, the transparency in here, and you can see the transparency in here. That was gone before. So what I've done is I had my Compton file, but that took away this transparency effect and the little the what can you call it, the fading in and out of the windows as well. So what I've done is I've copied the back end and where is it? The VSync. So the VSync and the back end to the compton.conf file that originally came when I started the Ubuntu one. So that's the original Ubuntu, Lubuntu compton.conf file. So what I've done is I copied and pasted from my compton.conf file the VSync and the back end. So now if you have a look at the original compton.conf file from Lubuntu itself, actually where was it? Documents, original, so I've backed that up. So if we check that out, the VSync was none and the back end was X render. Now the back end is GLX instead of none, and the VSync is OpenGL-SWC instead of none. So that's the difference. So this is the one I'm running, I'm pretty sure, actually, which one is it? So this is the one I'm running, and that's working well because that's given me a good balance between window effects and some of the transparency as well, and my screen tearing is fixed. So I'm pretty happy with that file there. So let's have another look at it. So it's the compton.conf. And VSync is the OpenGL-SWC. I don't really know what that stands for, but that's what my compton.conf had in it. And also the backend GLX. So that's and I didn't change nothing else. I left it all the same. So I just had to find those two commands there that actually that got rid of the screen tearing without changing anything else. So that's how I got that done. So, and the other thing I did was what made it crash in the first place was the window effects. So I've left this checked on, fade windows during opacity changes. So that's what it's on. And everything's running pretty good. So that was another look around Lubuntu 18.10. Well, actually this time 18.10. Previous time was the daily driver. So there's been huge development since then, and it's running quite well and seems to be reasonably stable. The only crash I've had was changing the window effects while Compton's running, so that's probably not a good idea. So I haven't had to add Compton to the startup. It's the only thing I think I should mention is auto start. Compton's not in there, it's just running. So, and it's running when you log off and log back in or restart. It seems to keep running till you, I suppose you tell it to stop. So the window effects was the only thing. So my advice is do not change this while you've got Compton running. So what you can do is you can go to your session settings. If you wanted to change that, you can stop it from there, Compton, change your Windows setting and then start it back up again. You probably have to log out and log back in, but it's all running pretty good. So so I hope you enjoyed another look around, this time Lubuntu 18.10. I'll continue to run this for a bit. It's running quite well, quite stable, except for that crash, but that was probably an unusual situation. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching.